In terms of group size, the recommendation is to have groups of about 3 to 5 students if you can. It just produces greater cooperation and less social loafing where some group members aren't holding their weight. And so then you get better group performance. More diverse groups is better. Diverse as you know, being as diverse means, right? More diverse groups lead to better decisions, more creative solutions, more effective plans, better problem solving, better discussions, less groupthink. So diverse groups are better. And when you're thinking about group composition, it is also, though, helpful to kind of keep students from underrepresented populations together and basically just avoid a solo status membership. So you don't want to have like I'm the only female in a group, or there's only one Black student in a group, or one international student in a group. So that is certainly one thing that I keep in mind when I'm developing my groups, is diversifying as best I can, and certainly avoiding that solo status membership. And then just some techniques for forming groups. I think all of us here send out some student information surveys to gather so we can get to know our students better. And then I know I use that information to group people in that way. On that sheet, I ask students if they know anyone else in the class. And I use that information, and I actually avoid putting them into groups where they know each other. It's also mostly a function of the class, like those subgroups and cliques could introduce challenging group dynamics at the beginning, and it's a group dynamics class. So if I can kind of shake that up and have everyone start fresh, if possible, I try to do that. But I also ask if students would rather not work with somebody, just in case there's some interesting histories there. I've had people be like, my ex partner is in the class, so I would rather not be in a group with them. And so happy to oblige. And then the online format, though, in particular, what's most important is grouping people in terms of similar time zones. That's another recommendation as well. So that is, I think that's sort of some of the research and the approach that I make for when I set up my groups. And then in terms of sort of fostering autonomy and cohesion, we have, once groups are formed, we have a big like get to know you lab activity. So then we actually share family stories. And so that I think it's like the third week of class or whatever, they're in their groups, and then they just start sharing their family stories and what role they played in their family, and how their family is sort of their first group that they've been exposed to. Students get to share whatever they feel comfortable sharing and however they define their family. And it breaks the ice a little bit. You get to start seeing them as people. It kind of starts building that cohesion right off the bat. But really any activity where they can get to know each other, or potentially like start forming like a bond, right? Maybe they compete with the other groups in the class, or do some fun game or some fun task together. That kind of loosens things up at the beginning, is usually pretty helpful.